Hi! Welcome or welcome back to Furniture Flipping Brush. This writer's desk is the worst piece of furniture I've worked on so far. This piece has pushed me out of my comfort zone when it comes to repairs, for sure. From these holes you can see it once had a folding writing lid. It had no lid with the piece when I bought it. It has a few splits. It also looks like it had some water on it at some point. One of the shelves are loose, the nails tore out of the wood. In the top drawer I found this furniture maker's label. My first reaction to this was, now that's interesting. It's like it's giving me a message. Now here comes the ugly side of furniture flipping. The lady who sold this piece on Facebook Marketplace did not mention that the bottom of the drawers were so bad that it would need replacing. Nor did she mention anything about the damage done by wood-boring insects on the back of the furniture board. The ad said it's in good condition. I drove far to pick it up. When I got there, she told me her husband just died, and she is selling some of the items out of his workshop. That was before I saw the piece. At the time, I also lost my stepdad and related to what she was about to go through. By the way, I paid 850 Rand. $58 for the piece. It was make me an offer ad. My offer was 500 Rand, $34. Then she said someone already offered her 800 Rand, $53. Then I said, what about 850 Rand, $58? I really wanted to refurbish a writer's desk. This was all before I drove out for the pickup. So yes, I paid way too much for it. I guess I took it because I knew she needed the money and because I'm a sucker for punishment and I drove all the way already. My silent creative voice kept saying, you can fix anything. Well, at a cost anyway. I start the transformation by taking off the hardware, then suck out any dust that a cloth can't get to. Because the wood was so porous, I only used warm water to wash it. I didn't want the soap penetrating the wood. I proceed by removing the backboard. The wood was treated at the workshop I bought it from for the wood-boring insects. It smelled for about a month of whatever they sprayed on it, so I wasn't worried about it infecting my home or other pieces. The nails were so rusted, the only way I could get rid of them was to push them in. They just broke when I tried to pull them. I had to make way for the new board. There was no way I could save the bottom of the drawers. They've seen better days. I gently probed at them in any way that made sense. This took some time. Gosh, the struggle is real. Yeah, the struggle is real. Now I sit with this and I have to fix that in. I put that in there and I put I pushed in the nails to make space for the new board. The second drawer came apart easier. Well, too easy if you ask me. It was funny. Now I've got more work for myself. Oh my word. Oh well. Then I got some cuddles to make up for it. I could not remove the shelf part of the piece. It was stuck, so I clipped off and pushed the nail back. To hold the shelf in place, I used 2 cans that fitted so perfectly. I used painter's tape to find the middle of the shelf from the bottom. So that I can drive the nail into the right place. Just making sure it went into the middle. And I put another nail to make it more secure. I'm going to paint most of the piece, so I just sand it to smooth out the wood and flatten all the spilt paint on it. I hand sanded all the areas where I could not use the orbital sander. And sanded the drawer fronts, insides and outsides to spruce them up a bit. Even after the sanding, the stains from the water damage stayed. I decided this is a job for oxalic acid. I made a strong solution. I want to keep the legs and the drawers natural wood, so I also use oxalic acid on them. Oxalic acid only removes stains from the wood, it doesn't bleach the wood itself. It brings back the wood to its natural state. Once the oxalic acid is dry, you want to wash it off with clean water at least 3 times. To prepare for the paint, I filled in all the holes and splits with wood filler. To cut out the new hardboard for the drawers and the back, I used the old boards to trace the sizes. If you're in South Africa, I bought this hardboard at Davidson's Discount Boards. You order and pay, then collect your cuts the next day. They were the cheapest place I could find. I had to cut my sheets to fit into my car. I'm cleaning up the bottom pieces from the drawers to reuse and removing the old glue from the dovetailing to reassemble the drawers. And here comes a new bottom. Just fixing a little crack on the side. And now for the final pieces to finish the drawer rebuild. I apply enough glue to make sure the drawer slides stay together for a long time. I've also glued back the piece that I broke off of the drawer when I took it apart. I go ahead and I sand down all the dried filler and go over the whole piece with a fine sanding block to smooth out the wood before I paint it. I'm going to make my own one-step paint for this project. I got the recipe from Black Sheep House channel. I'm using a color called Vintage Avocado and mixing it with this top coat and my favorite primer. You want all your paints to be water-based. You will use 1 part paint, 1 part top coat and 1 part primer. But my pouring was a bit off, so I ended up just eyeing my measurements. That's the great thing about this recipe, it does not have to be exact. Seeing my pouring was so off already, I didn't want to risk pouring from such a big full can, so I decided I'll rather scoop it in. Once I've opened a can of paint, I like to use a plastic wrap between the lid and the can to seal the paint better and to prevent dried pieces of paint to fall into the can. I make sure to mix the paint well before use. This one-step paint recipe saves money for you. You end up using way less primer, paint and top coat for a piece, and you save time by not applying all these paints separately. By mixing in the primer and top coat, your paint goes a little lighter but not that much. My first coat I applied thin. In total I applied 3 layers of paint. I didn't want to damage the furniture maker's label and decided I'll hand sand the panel it's on. I protected the label with painter's tape. I used the furniture liquid wax on the legs to bring out the wood grain. I wanted something special for the back of the shelves, so I decided I'll decoupage the back panel before I put it back. I wanted the pattern of the gift wrap to go down. That meant I'll have to cut 2 pieces and match the pattern up to fill the entire area behind the shelves. I use my cardboard hack when I work with thin paper. I first put my paper on cardboard before I put it where I want it. This way I get a smoother end result. I've already cut out my cardboard to the correct size I'll need. I cut the paper slightly bigger to make it easier to apply. I apply the decoupage glue in sections. Then I roll the paper over it while I use a soft cloth to iron out any creases. Note, I omit applying glue to the inner section of the paper. This is where I'll match the pattern and need it to be glue free. I then match my pattern by making small markings. I overlap my paper when I need my pattern to line up. And I also do not apply the glue completely to the inner edge. It will all make sense in a moment. Now I cut lightly through the 2 layers of paper at the location of the lineup, careful not to cut through the cardboard. Now I can apply glue to the lineup area and smooth it out. You don't notice the lineup area only if you look really closely. I cut away the excess paper and stick it to the hardboard for the back of the piece when it dried. I decided I'll use a sponge to apply the top layer for more protection. I used an ordinary dishwashing sponge. It worked so well the glue was easy to apply, no brush strokes and a lovely even end result. For extra protection on the top surface, I used the same sponge method to apply the same top coat I mixed in with my one-step paint. and applied furniture liquid wax to the shelves before I put the back panel on again. I thought it would be a sin not to decoupage the drawers as well. So I repeated the same decoupage method as before. I'm really enjoying the sponge method to apply the glue now. I then apply furniture liquid wax on all the natural wood of the drawers. I use undiluted white vinegar to boil the brass handles for about 5 minutes and polish them with a fine steel wool. You can only do this with brass handles. If you're not sure if it's brass, do a magnet test. Brass will not stick to the magnet. Metal coated handles will get damaged if you do this. And now for the last and most important step. Let's look at where we started before the revealing rush. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like so that other awesome people like you also get to see it. Sorry you guys had to wait so long for this video. I've been a bit swamped. We are redoing our kitchen in 2 weeks. So I had to deal with getting quotes and shopping for all the supplies. I'm not looking forward to all the stress and the dust. I'll try to get my next video out as soon as possible under these circumstances. I have not deserted you. I'm not selling this piece, I'll be keeping it for myself. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!